these brake pads have by far outlived anything else I've gotten from the store. I've got. My name is Carson. Welcome back to Thrifty Garage, a channel where we do everyday repairs, how-tos, and reviews. In today's video, we're doing another brake change on the 2500 HD Chevy Silverado truck. I've probably changed these brakes, or the brakes on my 2007 Chevy, at least half a dozen times, if not a dozen times. Towing for the landscaping business, we tow heavy 14,000 pound trailers, and the front brakes definitely take a beating. I'm going to show you today some brake pads that I found over the multiple changes that I found to work the best. We'll bring you in here for a closer look, show you what damage we've got here, but these brakes need all replaced. We're going to do that today, and we'll show you what brake pads I found, like I said, work the best. So let's hop into the video. So I recently picked up this truck and was told that the brakes were fairly new on it, and upon closer inspection they are definitely not. But these pads are looking really good. We've got you know, about half life left on them. Not horrible. This front side looks really good, but if we come to the back side, we got a different story. This just last week we started hearing some metal on metal contact, started seeing some got all this iron dust on the front hubcap here, started showing up. I pretty much knew it was metal on metal contact. I peeked in the hub here and saw this front one and thought it was fine. But yeah, upon further inspection, this thing is metal on metal. Horrible. We'll take a look at the back. But I think what happened here, either the calipers froze up, which is out of frame. Calipers froze up and it's only applying brakes on the back side, or possibly the previous owner of the previous owner may have, you know, put something quickly together. I don't know who did what, but the back side was wearing a lot faster than the front side for whatever reason. So you can see here on the side profile, the right side's a lot thinner than the left side. So maybe this has been an ongoing problem. Maybe that's just the wear that's happened in the last few days since we've heard this sound. But I will say, you know, you can't even turn this. I have tried multiple times to turn these rotors, but it seems like when I'll buy a brand new rotor, right here we got some boxes, buy a brand new one, and the next brake change, they're already out of spec. They cannot be turned anymore. And that doesn't matter if we've had metal on metal contact or if they've had really good maintenance life. They just can't be turned. So these specs on these brakes are really thin on these Chevy trucks. So I always have to end up putting new discs on. I just plan on that expense. These were about $100 a piece for these disc brakes. So here we've got the back side. You can see I've got some hammer marks in there. I'm trying to get this thing off, but just metal on metal contact. That is not going to accept a new disc. You will ruin a new disc going on there, and it'll bed into that same shape, and that's definitely not what you want. So this is in horrible shape. Again, don't mind my improper use of the hammer. I should have a not a ball peen. I should have a dead blowout here doing this. But I think, again, part of the problem here is whoever tried to take this off last time could not get this drum off. This disc brake off, and they just put it back together and sent it on its way. So we've got the fight of unwelding this rust welded brake to the hub here. I think I've had enough fun with the hammer here. We've got these two bolt holes. We can try to push bolts in there and slowly creep it out. I don't think that's going to do anything. Every time I've done that, those threads always just strip right out. So I'm not even going to go for that. I don't want to heat up this hub too much, but I am going to try and heat up this outside, get this to expand a little bit and pull away from this hub, and then try to knock it off that way. So let's go ahead and pull the torch out and see what we can do. We break it loose? Maybe? Something popped. Oh yeah, it's coming. Woohoo! Okay, the biggest thing I found to prevent this from happening is to use some anti-seize. Put it on the sides here, as well as the back plating. They kind of just, as it heats and cools the braking, it just welds itself together. And so I found that to be the best. So you can put it on the threads too if you want. These threads look really well. They actually have a bunch of stuff on them, so I think somebody's kind of already lubricated the lug nut threads. But getting these to not fully face to each other makes a huge difference in getting that removed. I'm really pleased with how well those bolts worked on this one. Maybe should have tried that to begin with. Like I've said, I've had older cars like this that are rusted together, and those threads just strip right out, and then you don't even have that as a last resort. Okay, next step here, we've got these Brake Select brakes, or Brake Best Select Premium rotors, whatever. This is just whatever O'Reilly has. This is what I've always used. Again, these were like $100 with our company discount. We got 10% knocked off or whatever. But I have not played around with the slotted and drilled and all the different rotors. So anybody who has suggestions there, totally open to options. But we just haven't spent the money on that. Take off our protective coating that prevents these things from rusting. Another big thing I've learned with brakes is a brake-in. A lot of people don't set their brakes in, and a lot of shops probably don't do it either. If you do take your vehicle to a mechanic shop, it's probably a good idea to ask them what they do for a break-in procedure. It doesn't mean they're going to do it. They might tell you what's recommended. But regardless, you know, I guess that's the risk you take when you take your vehicle into a auto repair shop, is you really just have to trust them. So I mean, that's right, it's important to find a reputable company that you trust, that you believe they're going to do what they say they're going to do. Because without that trust, then unless you're mechanically minded and able to go double check the work, which we send plenty of work in, and there's been times where I've had to double check some things. Okay, now we got this guy to go back in here. I'm going to put some anti-seize on these two. These were just locked in. I had to put a cheater pipe in my breaker bar, and even then it took a lot of brute force to get it in. Good and tight. Good and tight. Okay, should we unveil our special product here? Okay, here we have a box of Hawk Performance. This is their SD or Super Duty ferrocarbon disc brake pads. So these are for the Chevy trucks. This is both on my 2007 as well as this 2002, both the Duramax and the 6.0. This is the HB322P717. They have these for the fronts and the rears. The fronts are obviously going to be 80% of your braking power, so I don't worry so much about getting them on the rears, but I definitely want them on the fronts. But these brake pads have by far outlived anything else I've gotten from the store. I've gotten the premium stuff from O'Reilly. I've tried lots of different stuff, and this stuff for a towing application, I have not found anything that even touches it. These last a lot longer. They brake a lot better, and I don't really like subscribing to the the better pads, the better whatever it is, but these definitely are a quality product. And see here, we've got some pretty good life on here. It's hard to tell, but there you go. I'd say about, these are about half worn, maybe not even halfway. Okay, we're going to, yeah, these things are a little bit, the one thing I don't like about these kits is they don't come with any of the, like the auto parts store ones will come with the new little metal shim things. Okay, before we drop this down, I actually need to open up my piston here. This truck's definitely rusty. Right here we got a little nick. I think there's a protective cover on there. I got nicked. I think somebody was trying to open these up, and I always put my C-clamps inside there. I've never had an issue with damage. You can see these things are pretty far extended. I don't know if somebody just didn't push these back in last time or what was going on. Maybe they only bought a half set of pads. Oh, they're moving good. That's a good sign. They move super easily. Usually it's not that easy. I'll just push out the other side. I did not realize that. Yeah, just squeeze them back out the other side. That's interesting. I can't remember if I usually do this with two or just one. A little bit harder now. Push it back up the lines, hopefully. It's a lot harder now. Come on. Oh, I really don't want to replace the whole brake system on this thing. Well, I didn't plan on doing all new on this, but since this was having a hard time compressing back in, I looked up a new one. I think it was 70 or 80 bucks online. I ended up going with the full kit. Comes with a new bracket as well instead of just the caliper. And this comes with new hardware bolts, new covers for this too. So we're going to be all brand new, and I'm really happy and excited about that. So, and it was only 60 bucks. There's a $50 cord, so I'll take back this old stuff. But I think that's a win. So we'll go ahead and abandon this. We will have to disconnect that brake line, which is a little bit unfortunate, but I think overall we're going to be better off. This caliper is making me a little bit nervous, to be honest. So we'll just eliminate that as a problem, and we will have all new front brakes on this thing. And when I bought this truck just recently, just a couple months ago, it had really good operational brakes. So I'm kind of disappointed that they haven't been long-lived, but hopefully the rest of this brake system is in good condition, since these are obviously not. I don't know if they just deteriorated deteriorated fast, or what. Okay, brand new spanky shiny. Looks gorgeous. Treating this truck better than my Duramax. Never put new calipers on there. Yeah, we'll do the other side, we'll bleed the brakes, and then we'll go do our bedding procedure on these new discs and pads. Okay, well, I told you the other side was bare, teed off. This side's gonna be too, apparently. These ones that hold the disc on, using my cheater pipe here, on the breaker bar. Yeah, buddy. I think I even PB blasted these guys. I'm gonna lift the truck off the jack. Oh, got it. Holy smokes. Okay. The impact run them now. That one is not moving still. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to reuse these bolts. But the slider bolts, luckily, are included in doing that whole kit, which is totally worth it. 60 bucks. What a deal. It's gonna save me that much time just in repair. Doing these a little bit at a time to kind of keep the heat down. So I don't know what the deal is with the insides, but this one again is really messed up. It's only wearing on the inside. The outside edges are actually like a lower height than the inside. I don't know how that even happens. If this truck sat for a long time and it rusted out, and I mean, who knows? As far as the depth on this guy, this thing's a lot more what I would suspect it should be. But that is part of the reason we're doing all new brake equipment right here, is we're just going to get rid of this bad. This one might have been savable, but again, with the thickness, I think just the pitting and the rust, this is probably not turnable, just in my past experiences. So I didn't even have a measure it. It wasn't worth my time. So we will get this new stuff back on here and get back on the road. Okay, we got our lug nuts all torqued down. Put our caps back on. And then we're going to do the break-in procedure. So for the break-in procedure, we need to do 6 to 10 stops from 35 to 40, 30 to 35 miles an hour. So from 30 to 35 down to 5 miles an hour, we need to stop. Do not stop, come to a complete stop. Just slow down and then speed back up. Slow down, speed back up 6 to 10 times. And then we're going to do 2 to 3 harder stops. So this first 6 to 10, we want to do a moderate stop. And then we got 2 to 3 harder stops from 40 to 45 down to complete stops. And then do not drag the brakes and do not hold the brakes, because what you're doing here is you're introducing heat and then letting it cool down. Introducing heat, letting it cool down. And if we hold that heat under the pad in one spot, it can warp it or cause excessive problems there. So this is your bedding procedure. Once you do that, allow 15 minutes or more for the brake system to cool down, and then your Hawk pads are ready for use. So I read that straight from Hawk. That's what they say in their instructions. A lot of manufacturers and brake companies and all that stuff, they have their own break-in procedures, but that's a pretty basically what we're trying to do again is try to heat up everything and let it cool down, and then let those two new surfaces mate together. It's going to burn off any additional coatings on the disc, and we should be good to go. So let's take her for a test drive, and hopefully these brakes hook in well and we don't have any other issues for a while. All new components. My wife helped me bleed the brakes, so hopefully we don't need to do any more bleeding there, and hopefully that's good to go as well. Got a heat gun. I'm going to go ahead and see how hot this is. 203, max is 205.5. See if we can hit the 212. The disc is actually hotter. 244. When we were doing this, you see that very well. So we got a max of 244.4. While we were doing this, we got the first couple brake applications, couldn't really smell anything. But then as we got going further, you could smell the heat on the 45 down to 0 brake applications. You could really smell it start to kind of come out. So there's a look. You can see our cross hatches there. Yeah, it says it's broken in. Looks like we started wearing into some nice metal. If you look in here, this is kind of where I peeked in before. It's kind of hard to tell, but right back in there you can see where the brake pad is, and right where that brake pad is, you can see there's plenty of life on there. You can't really see the back side, but you can see the front side. So like I said, I checked the front, everything looks good, and but I did see all this brake dust out here on the hub, and I just knew this was chunks of metal just flying around the air right here, and just melting and attaching right here. And this is really hot. Even the wheel's hot. Well, I think it's gonna about wrap up this video. As you can see, we did all this repair and testing with the trailer attached. It's a work truck. It's the way it works. It's actually kind of nice being able to work here at the shop instead of sending it out, because I can leave the trailer attached to get this work done on weekends and move things forward. But anyways, I don't know if I've even introduced this truck to the channel. This is a 2002 Chevy Silverado 2500 HD. We've got three 2500 trucks, you know, varying ages and ranges. This is a really high mileage gas truck. It's 268,000 miles on it. And it's actually pretty clean inside. So maybe let me know in the comments if you guys are interested in doing an introduction or review on this older truck. I am thinking about a comparison between all of our trucks. This is about a $15,000 truck. We've got the Duramax truck, which was about a $15,000 truck. The flatbed truck's about a $30,000 truck. Maybe compared to a new truck. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in a comparison video. But yeah, the brakes, got them all done, taken care of. I feel a lot better about that, and hope I'm not rambling too much. If you're still here, leave a comment, say you finished to the end. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.